Hello, good morning. I'm Saraswati. Welcome to my podcast. Today I have with me a very special person, Mrs. Midhila Raavi. She is a baking aficionado and an entrepreneur extraordinaire. I have her here not to talk about her baking skills or her entrepreneurial abilities, but I want to ask her about something very special that she has gone through lately. Congratulations, Midhila, on the birth of your baby girl. I hear it was a very unique delivery. Was it?
Thank you, Ate. Thank you so much. And it was very special for us, of course, because we gave birth to our baby girl a couple of weeks back. Like every parent, yes, it is very special. Unique, I am not sure because this is how it's supposed to be. I went through a natural delivery process, which I suppose should be a very common thing, and that's how. Unfortunately, that's it's not that way anymore these days. We all know that how C-section kind of a delivery has become very normal, and we've normalized it so much that a natural delivery has become a unique one these days.
Right, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Very rightly put. When and where did you go for this, for your delivery?
So we delivered our baby girl in this hospital called Sanctum, which is in Hyderabad, which fortunately is very close, right next to our home. So we lucked out on that, I guess.
Okay.
And this is a healthy birthing center sort where they
Okay.
promote only healthy birthings and
Natural
it's a natural birthing center where they promote natural births, and they have their unique set of processes, to ensure we mostly if at all, if the mother and the pregnancy is safe, and if the mother is not having any other conditions, they strive to get give a natural birth.
Okay. Why did you think of taking this unusual step? Unusual. I'm not saying it's
Yeah. For me, I've heard my mom saying that she had all three of us through the natural birth itself, and most of them around me were having natural births. But lately, when I've heard my friends, I've heard my friends' stories who'd given birth around 5-6 years back and all. I could hear only traumatized stories wherein how traumatized they were with the entire process. How everything changed in the last minute, and they were not informed properly. They were not given any good reasons of why they were getting into a C-section while everything was going well.
Right.
Until the last minute, and suddenly the doctor says a natural might not be possible and we'll have to get into a C-section.
Okay.
So this kind of stayed with them for the longest time, and every time they think of their birthing experience, it's not a nice thing. They only have traumatic stories to talk about it and say
Okay.
how they're not satisfied with their birthing process.
Okay.
That was one point. And also, I've done my nutrition course because of my baking thing, where we are into healthy baking. I've done my nutrition course a couple of years back, and in one of those lectures, that person was mentioning that how a baby's gut microbiome
Okay.
is formed right through the fetal stage, and
Oh.
it becomes better if it's a natural birthing process wherein the baby passes through the mother's vaginal canal, and it takes in the mother's gut microbiome also.
Wow.
So it is much stronger for the babies who has gotten a natural birth. So that's kind of stayed with me, thinking, if at all I want, if I give a birth, it should be a natural birth, and
Great.
this was one of the strongest reasons.
Wow.
And I came across Sanctum, which was very close to us, and I read up about them, and I thought like that would be a better place, and we could go and check it out once.
Okay.
So right from the day one, when I went and met the doctors, I think I got the confidence that this is the place I want to give birth.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's a very nice thing to know, that how the baby gets its gut microbiomes at the fetal stage.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's very, very interesting. And I think it's sort of enlightening to know that we get so much from our mothers. What was the reaction of your family members?
Yeah, so of course, Sanctum is not a regular hospital kind
Yes,
of a place.
yes.
You will not have those whims and fancies that a regular corporate hospital gives
Has.
you,
Correct.
right? So initially, the first visit, Kedar of course was not happy. So he was.
So Kedar is your spouse.
Yes, my husband, he was not that satisfied, because yes, initially
Naturally,
we just got to know we were pregnant.
Correct.
And he was all excited, and you would have seen stories of people where they get into the suite rooms in those corporate hospitals, the entire room is decorated and all of those fancy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I remember him while we were sitting in the hospital, I remember him telling, can we find a better hospital? I want a boutique sort of an experience. This is our first baby and all of that.
Okay.
So that was his reaction. But I think once the doctor visit was done, Dr. Dwani, who was the gynecologist there, we had our first visit with her, consultation with her. And she'd spoken to us for a proper 45-minute and explained us everything and took us through the process. And I think after that consultation, he was satisfied. He was like, yeah, I think this is the right place for us. So he was satisfied. But my first trimester was very difficult for me in terms of the pregnancy symptoms, which is of course common,
very normal.
and very normal,
Yes.
very normal, and nothing to worry about. But it was hard for me to take it, where in those 3 months I was almost in my room, not able to step out, and I had very strong symptoms. So during that time, I think my dad was a little worried and was like, I think you're not going to a proper hospital. Why are nobody giving you any medication for these things? But Sanctum did the right thing, because every time I used to go and tell them my symptoms, they were like, you know what, we understand, we can empathize with you, but unfortunately there's nothing much we can do about it.
Correct.
Even though there is something, it is not that safe. We don't
not
want
required.
to. Not required.
Not
Yeah,
required.
right.
Yeah.
So they gave me that sort of. I mean, they could empathize with me, and that was sufficient for me, frankly. I wasn't expecting any sort of a medical intervention for those things.
Okay.
So, yeah, this was pretty much my family's response, I guess. But otherwise, everyone were okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your mom was okay with it?
Yeah, she was fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you start preparing for this? That is, after the doctor's visit. How did you prepare for it? What did you do?
So there's not much of a preparation required in the initial trimester.
Okay.
They will say pretty much rest as much as possible, eat whatever you can, and do whatever you don't stress out, because as it is, your symptoms are so strong that we don't want you to do anything much about it.
Correct.
So magically after first trimester, I think all of the symptoms went away and I became quite energetic.
Yeah.
We luckily got to travel in my second trimester also. We went.
So the trip to Italy did
yes.
the trick.
Yes,
Huh?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there was a boost of energy. Everything changed in the second trimester, and it kind of boosted my mood also, I guess.
Okay.
So from then we started enjoying. Both of us started enjoying our pregnancy, wherein especially I started taking my work a little slow. I started giving time for myself.
Great.
I used to do this prenatal
Prenatal.
yoga with Sanctum.
Okay.
I used to do that, and Dr. Vijaya, who is the co-founder of this hospital, she used to push me to do my walks. I was supposed to do like almost 1.5 hours of walk through the end of my pregnancy.
Okay.
I was expected to do almost 1.5 hours of walk every day, which was a lot for outsiders like my mom or everyone else. Used to be like, you're in your third trimester, you're the end of pregnancy, why do you want to walk so much and all of that.
Okay.
But then I think doing all of that, the prenatal yoga, the walks, I used to take the staircase every day. We stay in the 4th floor, so I used to take the staircase every day. That, and I used to also try and meditate, do the visualization
Great.
part. All
Great,
of that
great,
kept
great.
my mind calm and free, and these were my preparations which helped me. So doing all of this, I think I also got time for myself after a long time. After
You've been
college,
working for
we've
long.
been
Yeah,
working, and we've never really got
Correct.
time off.
Correct.
And consciously taking the time off and doing all of this, I really sort of enjoyed the pregnancy.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very nice to hear. But I also want to know, was there any particular diet prescribed for this time, for this period, for your pregnancy?
Yes, they were Sanctum guys were telling, do not have sugars, and like any other hospital, even I was prescribed to eat a lot of protein, fiber and sort of stuff. But from the beginning, I have my own dietary theory, and which I've been following, wherein I do not fall for this protein intake or fiber intake.
Correct.
I try and keep my meals as
Wholesome.
homemade, wholesome as possible.
Okay.
And the traditional meals, I think, will cover all of these dietary requirements.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So the pregnancy did one thing good for me, was I was never craving for outside food. I was only craving for homemade food and sober, spiceless food.
Okay.
So that was a good thing, wherein I didn't have much of cravings that I need to curb. So it was a normal homemade food, and I used to eat my sweets whenever I felt like it without
Good.
telling the doctor.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your baby will come out stronger has come out stronger because of this, and also she will get the right kind of she will have the right kind of interest in what to eat, how much to eat, and all those things. She will enjoy growing up. Then how was your spouse involved in all this?
Oh yeah, he was involved completely. I guess throughout this pregnancy, our relationship has become much stronger, and we've gotten much closer, is what I feel.
Okay.
It was a very fulfilling because he was involved completely. The first trimester wasn't much actually. The second was also okay. There is something called as Lama's classes, which Sanctum guys encourage us to take, which happened in our third trimester, wherein both me and both the mother and the father needs to take in those classes, and they insist us to take it like that.
Correct.
The father also needs to be there.
Correct.
It was an extensive class of 4 weeks, wherein every Saturday we had like 3 hours of class.
Okay.
We had to take out that time without block the time, and completely focus there. And through those classes, I think Kedar was very much inspired through this process. He's gotten to know about the entire process even in a deeper way, and he was very excited for this process. He was like, I am glad we are doing this. I'm glad we have taken this route, and I'm very excited for the day of delivery, because during the class what they say is the partner's effort support is very much required. So they teach them how to support us during our labor period, how to support us during our initial labor period, which we were supposed to be at home and take care of it. And what is he supposed to do in my active labor period, how is he supposed to help me, give me massages or boost my confidence.
Wow.
All of this.
Nice.
He was very much involved and he enjoyed this process. Even that helped us in our last day of labor also, an actual delivery date, where my labor went on for like 1.5 days.
Okay.
He was there with me throughout, and I think the start, the initial labor, which was throughout the night, we managed it by both ourselves.
Okay.
We didn't have any assistance from the nurses, though we were at Sanctum. They didn't come. Like, we were able to manage it by ourselves. So it was all
Right.
because of him. He knew exactly what to do. Yeah.
Okay. How long did you stay in the hospital after the delivery?
We could. I was ready to get discharged within 24 hours. We were fit to get discharged within 24 hours. It was me who wanted to stay for another day just to see the baby is stabilized, she's okay and all.
Okay.
So I took an extra day. So we stayed for 2 days.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now, what's the aftercare like for you and for the baby?
For the baby, it's pretty much normal. Feed her every 2 hours or whenever she demands.
No,
It's
all the
like-
vaccines, everything.
Yeah, everything is taken
care.
care of.
Okay.
So she's gotten her vaccines on time, and we've done with our visits also.
Okay.
So they do the initial checkup if everything, her. How do I put this? If all her body organs and everything is functioning well, those initial set of checkups, everything was done.
Okay.
And her vaccinations are done. And pretty much that's it. They do not involve much for the baby because there's nothing much to be done.
Do.
Yeah,
Okay.
much to be done.
What about your aftercare? Like, is it like how other women give birth in hospitals? What is their aftercare? What they do at home? Is it the same for you, or is it even more relaxed? Or
It's even more relaxed because from the day when I'm able to do everything, I pretty much do every household chore now.
Okay.
Which I'm not supposed to do according to my mom, but that's fine. My body is letting me do that.
it. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I'm pretty much back to normal in terms of weight or everything. Everything is normal. So my diet, though the hospital guys told me that I can eat everything, I think I'm following the traditional practices wherein I'm restricting a few things.
Okay.
So
because
that,
you're feeding the baby.
yeah, I'm feeding the baby, and they say that after the delivery the mother gets into the vata state where you're supposed to eat only foods that heat up your body and not give any sort of cold, which will eventually pass on to the baby. Yeah.
Okay. That's a very sensible thing to do.
Yeah, I am trying to do that, and that's it. I have a japa who's helping me with my massages once in a while. I'm trying to take this heat. I don't know what is it called. In other languages, but wherein you given heat to your body parts.
Okay.
I'm trying to do that just to keep myself warm. And I've taken this belt from the Sanctum, wherein it's tummy binding belt.
Correct.
Wherein I'm trying to do that so that your tummy gets
Correct.
into it's used for uterus contraction actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one thing I'm
Comes
doing.
back with the belt, it will come back to its original
size. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
That's one thing I'm trying to do. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Midhila. It was a very enlightening experience for me because I learned a lot about natural process of birth. Though I have also given birth in a normal, I have given a normal delivery. That was so long ago, but that was in a hospital. And this sanctum seems to be a second home to you.
Yes,
So,
it is.
yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this conversation.